So it looks like that things are, of course, hotting up in the Red Sea, and this is going to make very, very big problems for all the world. The Red Sea, of course, is the gateway to the Suez Canal. If not, you've got to go all the way around Africa, which is an even longer route, which is going to add a cost to even more products. Um, Needless to say, the Houthis attacking ships in this way, and we're going to go over what was on Tuesday the largest so far attack to take place on shipping. Um, put it this way: a lot of you may remember, I think it was last year, the explosion in Beirut, of a factory that happened there. Yeah, if one of these anti-ship missiles, one of these drones, hits a liquid gas carrying ship or an oil transport ship, um, yeah, it's going to make that explosion look small in comparison. And as we've said before, these ships sort of don't really have a choice in this. If not, you've got to go around, the long way around Africa. This is why it is building the Suez Canal was such an achievement to international and world trade. And yet at the moment, this is what the Houthis are now sort of threatening. This started off by them saying, "Oh no, we're only going to attack um, Israeli ships," but that very quickly went out the window. They have been attacking every ship coming up and down this lane. And as we said before, this is going to cause a big international problem. This is going to cause a big international crisis. And ultimately, is going to negatively affect world trade. This is a problem we have to look at and try and solve, especially from an international perspective. That's why at the moment there are 3 American cruises, and of course there's the HMS Diamond over there from the UK, from the Royal Navy, down there as well, helping that out. So at the moment, this is sort of how we've sort of responded. And again, protecting international shipping in this way helps keep the world very stable. Having international trade, keeping those movement lanes open and free is a very good thing to do. It's what we should all want, of course. But let's look into more of this and see again how this is going to cause a lot of problems. So first of all, we're just going to have a look at the map, because this is the map here. So as you can see, this is Yemen, this is the Red Sea, and as you can see here, instantly where the trouble point is, and it's here, because any ship has to pass through here. This is, from what we can tell, where most of the attacks have been taking place, but it's not just here. You've got a lot of areas along this coast where attacks can potentially, take place. If you're a ship, you would come up from here, or you would come from India this way, and then of course you've got to go through here. So you're instantly plagued by a lot of trouble and a lot of points where the Houthis could attack a lot of international shipping. And it's not just ships going up, of course, to the Suez Canal on into Europe. It's shipping coming down from Europe through the Suez Canal and, of course, over to Asia, China, India, and the rest of the Pacific. So as you can see, this is one of those things where it is an international problem. It is an international response that is needed. And I think we're getting to that point now where, especially after Tuesday, where according to the report from the UK Defence Ministry, they said that the attacks last night were launched by the Houthis, have been completely acceptable, and the consequences will now be severe. They launched over sort of 18 drones and at least 3 missiles from what so far we have seen. And again, that is the largest attack that we have seen. The drones that they have been using are Iranian drones because, of course, the Houthis are an Iranian-backed militia group. And of course, they are doing this because they want more international aid to be sent to sort of Gaza. But this is one of those things where you are sort of threatening international shipping. You are threatening a lot of um, international supply lines. And as we said at the beginning of this, when the Houthis first threatened this, they said that they were only going to attack Israeli shipping. That, as we said, went out the window very, very quickly. This is one of the most busiest shipping lanes in the world. What is surprising, of course, at the moment is that China has been very quiet on this because most of the ships passing through that so far are Chinese ships. It would definitely heavily negative affect sort of the Chinese economy if that goes on. We've seen at the moment the insurance. If you remember during the Somali pirate crisis, uh, insurance for these ships shot up during that period of time. And it wasn't until the International Response Force came in that those prices started to fall, and insurance started to return to normal levels. Um, Now you've got a problem that insurers are now looking at this and saying, hey, look, if you get hit by a missile between here and here, you're not insured. We aren't going to insure you, which is of course going to see more ships uh, deciding to take the longer route, which of course is going to add more fuel costs. This is going to make supply lines longer, makes going to thing take longer to arrive. You are going to see a knock-on effect, possibly to now oil and gas, and potentially because, as we said, this is the largest attack to happen to date. Luckily, as we said at the moment, most of these, well, in fact, all of these drones and missiles that were shot were intercepted, as we said, by the 3 US destroyers, by the Royal Navy ship, and of course, F-18s. Also now patrolling that area as well. So at the moment, there hasn't been a ship struck yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. I really do think it is only a matter of time before a ship eventually gets hit. And I think you are now going to be seeing, I think, certainly from an international viewpoint, the message has already been sent. Hey, knock it off, or there will be consequences. And if there's one country you do not want to annoy, it's the US with its quite substantial air force, because the air force will not go in on land. They will just start attacking, military installations in Yemen and attacking Houthi strongholds in Yemen. Um, and to be honest, this is literally like poking the bear. Sooner or later, there will be a response. Um, and of course, as we said, I think it's going to be a matter of time before a ship does get struck or hit. Or, as we saw very recently, they tried to take a ship hostage. That was stopped by US helicopter that managed to intercept them before they could sort of go and then take the ship. So this is a pretty important crisis at the moment. What's going on in the Red Sea, and of course, the consequences of this is what are going on in Gaza and Israel. But they are a terrorist group. You know, this is going to be needed to be an international response. This is going to be very, very much needed. Um, that area shipping is vastly important to the world. If a ship does get hit, there's going to be big consequences. Um, and if it's a oil or a gas ship, well, as we said, if you've seen the explosion in Beirut a couple of years ago, that's going to look comparatively small of what could happen if one of those gets hit. So, yeah, needs to say, it looks like this Red Sea crisis seems to be hotting up a bit. We'll have to see what happens in the coming days, but I think there's going to be a response sooner or later from the US. I think you'll probably maybe even see them go to the UN and try and sort this out first. But if between now and then a ship does get hit, then there is going to be a serious military response. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.